All right, welcome back to my channel. This is Strategy. It's been a while. Knowledge has changed and increased like you would not believe since the last time I made a YouTube video. I'm going to get right into it. I don't want to waste too much time with me talking. A picture's worth 1,000 words. So we have The Simpsons, Season 2, Episode 17. Old Money. All right, and I'll put the link in the description after that. I'm not going to speak too much. I'll point out certain things here and there. There's so many little things that I noticed in this. Just look for yourself. And I'll try to put as much in the description as I can. All right, we're going to start out at the blackboard. All right, so we have Bart with "I will not grease the monkey bars." I'm not going to go into that too much at first. For those that are aware, they'll catch certain things, and those that aren't won't. All right, so monkey. First reference, there will be several different references that are all sort of related to the same theme, and that's why I'm doing this. I'm not even saying what that is so far. So those that can see will see. That's where we're leaving it. All right, Bart is at the blackboard. Attention, I will not grease the monkey bars. All right, so that's the reference for that. We're going to jump right ahead a little bit into the next reference. They picked up Grandpa, and they're just coming back home.
This year we'll do something more fun.
Oh! What could be more fun than today's trip to the liquor store? Thanks for the beef jerky.
All right, there we go. So we have liquor store and beef jerky in a stereotypical fashion that may be linked to the natives, indigenous. Not going to go into that, but let's say that may be a native reference, which may not seem much at the moment. That'll link at the end of the episode. All right, so far we have monkey, we have liquor store, and beef jerky. All right, we'll go to the next reference.
Treasure the elderly.
You know how, right?
Homer, that's someday. We should be teaching the children to treasure the elderly.
There we go. All right, so treasure the elderly, that speaks for itself. Won't go in on that. Let's get up to the next one. That could be linked to honor your foremothers and forefathers by saying treasure the elderly, certainly, as the value there. Next reference is...
I got it! The Springfield Mystery Spot!
That is just a mud puddle.
Wow. Discount line safari. So real, you'll think you've driven to Africa. Interesting. Let's go to the next one. Those who can see, and those who can't, can't. Okay, so we're going to go back because there was something really quick. All right, so minor stuff. He's in room 118. This is Grandpa Simpson, Abraham Simpson, room 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. You figure that out for yourself. And we have a picture of the so-called Jesus up on the left side wall there. European Jesus with the sun rays and a halo around his head. Obviously, you know the deal about Jesus. Most of you already. Not going to waste my time on that. Keep going. And right after that, you have an image of a circus with an elephant. And what region are elephants indigenous to? Circus, elephant. There we go. Beautiful. Now, let's go up to the next reference. Not too far. Dispensary.
Hey! Hey!
All right. So the people at the retirement home are receiving their daily fix medication. And the cup that Grandpa Simpson has 13 pyramids in it, or 13 triangles. Thought it was interesting. Let's take a look. We'll start at this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then we're right back to the one that we started at. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, that's somewhat significant to some, perhaps, maybe, huh? Okay, now, where are we at? 254. The next one is going to be... This one's going to come up quickly after. Very quick image.
Hey there, Mike!
Okay, and now we have this image. That would represent sort of the American Medical Association, the images you see in an ambulance, what have you. There's a whole symbology to that. Most of you are already familiar with that. If you're not, hey, yeah, YouTube and Google. All right, now that is a very significant image, by the way. And also the region, by the way, I will say that that symbol has been found on ancient infirmaries in what's modernly called Egypt. All right. So next reference.
pills.
Now, Mr. Simmons.
Oh, what does she call him?
Hey, these are my pills.
Now, Mr. Simmons. Don't make me call Nurse Bronsky.
Wow. All right, so she misidentified him. This is a worker, administrator of the home, the senior home that Grandpa Simpson lives at. And she misidentified him with the incorrect surname, which is significant, and threatened to punish him as that fraudulent identity for speaking up to correct himself for the record, to correct the identity. Interesting.
Good Simpson, damn it! And these aren't my pills!
Excuse me, nurse. My name is Simmons, and I think I have the wrong pills.
I get 2 red ones for my back spasms, a yellow one for my arrhythmia, and 2 of the bluest eyes I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, so I'll let that play a little bit. Now, that is Miss Simmons. So that's whose identity the worker was referring to. So they have their medication mixed up. I'll let that play because the next few moments are going to be based on a relationship between Miss Simmons and Grandpa Simpson. And there's several little things that happen that I just find rather interesting. So she's going to introduce herself formally in a moment. And that's what we're going to examine shortly. All right, so let's see. Let's get a little bit closer to that.
You're like a couple of stupid punk teenagers.
I wasn't staring. It's my lazy eye.
Okay.
Punk teenagers.
I wasn't staring. It's my lazy eye.
Uh-huh. So she has an interesting hand position as she says the word I. I find that interesting. Okay, keep going.
I'm Beatrice Simmons, but my friends call me B. My lazy eye. I'm Beatrice Simmons, but my friends call me.
Yeah, she's doing it twice. Now, why is that? So the first time she did that, this hand sign, which has many meanings or can be interpreted many ways, but given all the different other references in the episode, it's a little bit too clear, So I won't go into that. Again, I'm trying not, there's just too much. So I'm just going to show it and then you make up your own mind. There's way too many clips here. I have literally like 60 different timestamps. Okay, so we have that. She's displaying this, what some would call a Masonic hand sign. Take it good or bad. As she says lazy I, and then the second time as my friends call me B. All right. And by the way, when she says my friends call me B, I noticed from, and we'll see this in a moment, the spelling of that is B-E-A. I thought it was just the initial B for Beatrice Simmons. But B-E-A was how it's written here in the episode. Now, we know vowels are interchangeable. B-E-A. Y is sometimes considered a vowel. B-E-Y. Just an interesting concept, perhaps. Okay. So we're going to go to the next thing, which is going to be a little bit further up. 10. Oh, that would be in part 2, wouldn't it? That's an amateur mistake there. All right, so 1 second. Okay, forgive me for that. All right, so now we have another image of the European so-called Jesus, closer image, with clearly on his knees, kneeling with the halo around his head and sun rays shining on him for whatever significance. I don't know why that's there, but it's noticeable. All right, next reference. All right, Grandpa goes to see B-E-A, possibly B-E-Y, in room 27. 2 plus 7 equals 9. You do the math on that, figure it out for yourself.
Oh, hello, young lady. Is your grandmother home?
All right, and then as they're leaving...
Damn.
Oops, sorry.
I can tell I better keep my good eye on you.
Damn
And she says I, once again, I, with 27 right behind her again. Again, we have 9. All right, so now a little bit ahead again.
Hey, baby,
You brace.
don't be a...
There we go. Now, this is a very interesting image here. You have the town founder, Jebediah Springfield, covered in pigeons, which we know what pigeons do, right? So symbolically, he's covered in what pigeons leave behind. And even though they're white, of course, pigeons, the so-called black ones, right? The white ones are doves. You'll notice the date is actually blacked out. Like it actually has like a highlight through it. Normally, this particular frame is a little blurry. But the name is clear, Jebediah Springfield. In other screenshots of that image, you'll find the date is clear, whatever it may be. I don't have that written down. But it's actually like almost like it has a black marker going through it, which I find significant. So I like that image because it shows an image of the town founder, Jebediah Springfield, with his symbolically as though his legacy has been pooped on, you could say, and the date that the town was founded, as far as the historical aspect of Springfield and its founder and its time frame that it was founded, is sort of blacked out, as though it's a question mark or non-existent, or I would leave it at questionable, because you can relate that to the history here in the so-called Americas as you want to relate. All right, so next image. Okay, now we're going to get to the good part. Now, here's where we are. Grandpa enters Herman's Military Antiques. We all know Crazy Herman with the one arm. Immediately visible, an African spear, African shield, war shield with spears. There's some other spears here to the left. And this I didn't notice right away until I played the episode back. But this is the red fez that Grandpa is going to be taking an interest in. And yes, I said red fez. Oh, how interesting. Now, let's look at that. Let's take a look and see where that goes.
No, you idiot, my girlfriend be. And since this is the only store I know...
Oh, Grandpa, nothing says I love you better than a military antique. Let's take a look at the bayonet case, huh?
Hey, what's that?
Aha. What is that indeed? That is a fez, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Those who know, those who don't. Now, that's very interesting. Now, pay attention, guys. See what Herman says about that.
That, my friend, was Napoleon's hat.
It doesn't look like Napoleon's hat.
Oh, it's not the famous hat. It's the one he wore for a week in April 1796, just before he defeated the Sardinians.
One more time.
My friend was Napoleon's hat.
It doesn't look like Napoleon's hat.
Oh, it's not the famous hat. It's the one he wore for a week in April 1796, just before he defeated the Sardinians.
Wow. Now, that seems, there's many different references going on in that. Am I looking into this too far? I'd be interested to know. Leave me some comments. I'd like to know what you think. First of all, we have red fez on the countertop that Grandpa's displayed interest in, which speaks for itself. Then, Herman says that this was Napoleon's hat. Now, Napoleon, immediately, I think France, and I think war. And then you relate that to the owners of that hat, the true heirs, the true owners of that crown. I don't even want to call it a hat. The national headdress, known as a fez, possibly tarbouche, depending on, there's many names for it. And he called it Napoleon's hat. So I find that to be a reference to war in France. And for those who know about the history of the Moors in Europe, and I am not a master of that yet, but trust me, I'm learning. The Moors suffered a significant defeat, one of several, unfortunately, in France. And I'm not going to go too deep into that for those that aren't into that thing. It might dissuade them. So long story short, Fez, Napoleon, war, France. In addition to that, I think to add to the point of the Moors' connection to it, he wore it for 7 days, the number 7, all right, 7, before in April 1796, all right? Think of the time frame we're talking about here, in the 1700s, late 1700s, before defeating the Sardinians. And I should have turned on the closed captioning so you can see the spelling. The Sardinians, spelled as you would think, like sardine, as in ocean, as in fish. How interesting is that? All right, so we have a reference to France, war. There's African artifacts there, war shields, specifically with spears. You have a red fez. And Herman mentions the defeat of the Sardinians, which sounds like a seafaring people. That sounds like people of the ocean, doesn't it? How interesting is that? All right, and there's so much we can get into. All right, so I'm going to leave that alone. Okay, next thing.
You should make to a man with a Gatling gun under the counter. Why don't you try?
He offered him like $5. $5, and Herman wanted 400. I don't know what the math is on that. All right, Grandma's World. He told him to go to Grandma's World so he can buy a gift for his girlfriend. So we have $1.98 and 39 cents visible. Grandma's World, the G and the W are, highlighted. $1.98. What is that? Math on that. 1 plus 9 plus 8 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9. We have 9 again. There's been several 9s in this episode. Then we have 3 plus 9 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. All right, and it's open also. You'll notice 9 to 9. What's the significance of that? I don't know. What do you think? All right, Grandma's World, G is highlighted. That could be significant. I don't know about the W. Perhaps for some that are a bit further along in degrees, that may be significant as well. All right, so next, the third day of the week, Homer comes and kidnaps his dad. What? Let's watch this play.
Dad, it's the third Sunday of the month. You know what that means? No, wait. Oh, come on, Dad. I promise we'll have more fun this time. We're going to see lions. I can't go.
Lions, another reference to someplace. Now, he doesn't believe that it's his girlfriend's birthday. He doesn't know that he has a birthday, that he has a girlfriend. So he's basically kidnapping his own father.
No, she's not invisible, you idiot. See, it's her birthday tonight. Yeah, right. Hey, you kid, stop kicking the seat. I'm kicking the seat.
Dad, don't you want to know where we're going?
No, just called Lion Safari.
Okay, now watch this next part. So basically, they kidnap Grandpa, the elder.
Damn these child-proof doors.
Okay, he's trying to escape and can't while he's kidnapped. So amidst the travel to the destination, which you're going to hear where the destination is in a moment, which is going to really be interesting also. Now, when I saw that, I crack up every time I see that. I mean, I was watching the episode sort of as working, not paying full attention. It was in my peripheral. And I saw the Fez, and when Grandpa inquired about it, and I had to stop and run the video back, and I had to dissect the video because this is just too much. All right, so now they're on the mainland. Okay, I'm talking about the Simpsons here. They're on the mainland, and they're going to a discount lion safari. Another Africa reference. And if there's any doubt, if you can find a cheaper lion, you must be in Africa. Now, which is just classic writing. I mean, the Simpsons writers are just amazing. But is there any doubt about that? Come on now. They're saying it right to your face and not at the same time, which is so clever. But let that play with your brain for a while. Okay, well, if you can find a cheaper lion, you must be in Africa. So they kidnapped the elder. He couldn't get out during his travels, and they're taking him to Africa on the mainland. All right, now what do we have after that? Oh, I think it's right before here. Okay, one second.
Hello.
That'll be 1850, Lana.
And that I didn't write down, but I caught that the other time as I watched the episode again. He called them Bwana, which actually means master or boss. I looked it up really quickly the other day. So Bwana, B-W-A-N-A. All right, so he referred to them as Bwana, master, boss. And now you're in an African landscape on the mainland. Okay.
Not feed animals. Do not allow animals in the car. Do not make eye contact with animals.
Are we in Africa yet?
Oh, do I have to rewind that? Are we in Africa yet? How many Africa references have we had so far throughout this episode? I think it's quite interesting, and just for the hell of it.
Car, do not make eye contact with animals.
Are we in Africa yet?
Wow. Hold on, this part is funny.
Hey, did anybody notice this place sucks? It seems that most of the animals are sleeping.
Well, let them sleep on their own time.
Oh, gotta love the Simpsons. Okay, now, 1 second. Next part.
Wingding, this is much better than my girlfriend's
Well, this just has some
birthday
lions
party.
and some stuff.
Bart, get out and push.
Yeah, Bart, get out and push. No way, Jose.
Okay, we've seen a lion. Can we go now?
Oh, classic Simpsons, man. They're eating a zebra carcass on top of the hood of the car. Oh, man. What do we got? 5 lines. Okay, so next reference. Oh, my goodness gracious. All right. That should be right after this. Right, slightly before this, actually. Okay.
Out of my way, I got a date with an angel.
You don't know how right you are, Abe.
What?
I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but B passed away last night.
Oh!
Yeah, so B, Miss Beatrice Simmons, passed away while he was kidnapped, being taken to Africa on the motherland. So obviously there's some grief and some pain and suffering, and obviously he's going to blame Homer for that. All right, next part coming up shortly.
Sorry I am, Dad. Is someone talking to me? I didn't hear anything. Oh, no. Dad's lost his hearing. No, you idiot. I'm ignoring you. You made me miss the last precious moment of Bee's life. I'll never speak to you again. I have no son.
Okay, so that's the next part there. So Homer's father disowns him out of anger and disgust for what happened. Okay, now this next part is also pretty significant. And the time frame is off here. 1 second.
Bee. Who are you?
Lionel Hutz, attorney at law. I'm the executor of Beatrice Simmons' estate.
Oh, executor of the estate. How interesting. The matriarch, the elder, the female, passed, is an executor of her estate. And what's going to happen?
Mrs. Simpson B was a wealthy woman, and surprise, surprise, she left everything to you.
So Grandpa's about to receive an inheritance from the executor of the estate for Miss Simmons. And listen to the amount.
Really?
There is one catch. You must spend one night in a haunted house. Just kidding. Here's a check for $106,000.
$106,000. 1 + 6 = 7. That's interesting. Okay, now here's where the slime ball administrator comes in.
I couldn't help overhearing about your newfound fortune, and let me assure you that here at the Springfield Retirement Castle, money does make a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, there are rub-downs, and then there are rub-downs.
Listen, you.
Okay, so basically Grandpa rejects the administrator for his slimy treatment, and he demands respect for his community. In fact, let's let him say that.
Human beings, whether that had ever occurred to you that old folks deserve to be treated like human beings, whether they have money or not.
All right, so he demands respect as human, regardless of whether or not they have FRNs. Okay, so now, where does Grandpa go as soon as this is over? Boom, you just saw it. There we go.
Yes, but it passes.
You son of a... I'll take it.
There you go. Grandpa just bought a red Fez and replaces it with the hat that he had on.
I'm going to dag nabbit.
He's going to enjoy the inheritance that was left for him. Okay, so now let's jump ahead a little bit here. So now Grandpa's going to go out wearing the Fez. By the way, he never takes the Fez off for the rest of the episode. Also notice that the Fez is not decorated. There are other references to Shriners in the Simpsons many times. And also everybody's seen the famous Stonecutters episode. But this particular Fez has not been decorated at all. And let's keep going. All right, so he's going out in pursuit of fun, joy, happiness with the Federal Reserve notes, with the money that was left to him. Let's see if he can find some joy.
You're the boss. Next stop, Huntsville.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah.
All right, so a lot of the things that others seem to enjoy or things that people tell you are fun, he doesn't seem to be enjoying too much. It's fun, you're having a good time, but it's not fulfilling. So he needs to be fulfilled, which is a common need. All right, so let's see what happens next here.
I miss Bee.
I miss you too.
All right, so she appears immediately as he calls out to her. Her spirit is always present.
For you? It got me haunting a family in Texas.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're keeping busy.
Now listen, Abe. I want to know why my money isn't bringing you happiness.
Oh, Bee, I'm not...
He's not cut out for the high life. He's not into all that kind of fancy stuff. So she encouraged him to reconnect with his son and also to spread the wealth.
Don't you spread it around. Make other people as happy as you made me.
Oh, thanks, Bee. I will, Dickon.
Made me.
Oh, I miss him too, the big fat Dickon.
There we go. All right,
Hey,
so that's
Bee.
about the son. Okay. And then Homer's sitting there crying for his dad. He's very upset. And now watch this, y'all.
Now, if you're having trouble maintaining on a
Grandpa!
Huh? Dad! Sonny Boy!
Let's run that back real quick.
If you're in trouble maintaining on a...
Grandpa!
Huh? Dad! Sonny!
Wow. They didn't even show it. You see how smooth they are with it? Now, Grandpa shows up to reconnect with his family, right? To reconnect with the nation. And what's the first thing he does? He gets down on his knee and he passes the crown to his grandson, to the future generation. Now, when you watch this video yourself, these things fly right by, like you won't even notice it. And some of the stuff I didn't notice until I saw the Fez the first time. That's what made me stop and go through it, because clearly there's some messages somewhere along the line. I don't know what it's trying to say all the time. There's many different messages that are thrown into Simpsons episodes. Anyone that follows would know. But again, for those who can see, it seems significant one way or another, and very few things are random in a show like this. Okay, all right. So he just passed off the crown to his grandson, and he came back to reconnect with his family. So it's the first thing that happened, and I'm gonna do it back one more time. You'll notice he's wearing the Fez when he comes to the door. They cut away, and then the next thing, the Fez is on the grandson's head. Watch.
If you're in trouble maintaining on a...
Grandpa!
Huh? Dad! Sonny Boy!
All right, and then Grandpa and son hug.
Is there
Everybody's
room at
happy.
your table for a foolish old man? Well, sure.
Okay, now this, I love this part right here. I'm trying to get through it, but I'm trying not to make a very long video, but there's just so many. Watch.
Here's your cooling card. On guard! Challenge accepted!
Wow. Okay, so now, pardon that little message we got over here. It's my cousin. Okay, thank you very much. Check that out. All right, so what are they doing? They are having a little war, aren't they? Sword fighting, and they're sword fighting with what? What are the tools they're using? Corn. Okay, seems like nothing, right? Okay, that's a nice little Native American reference again, isn't it? Or native.
Oh.
Now, Grandpa is about to say something. All right, and let's take a look at what Grandpa is about to say, because it's kind of out of place almost. I was sort of taken aback. All right.
Choose your cooling card. On guard!
Ah, that was the other part I forgot. So, not only is it a reference to the natives with corn, which not only are they holding corn as weapons, sword fighting with corn. There's corn center screen, center shot. I just sat on my mouse, apologize. All right, so now he also says on guard, which is again a reference to France as they're fighting. So France and war, once again. I think that's significant. And now listen to Grandpa's statement.
Challenge accepted!
Oh, my precious stacks of gold. Couldn't buy me the pleasures of a simple family meal. Gold.
Guard! Challenge accepted!
Oh, my precious stacks of gold. Couldn't buy me the pleasures of a simple family meal.
All my precious sacks of gold couldn't buy me the pleasures of a simple family meal. That's an interesting statement, because I'm not sure there was no mention of gold anywhere in the episode.